Chill Guy, which is a viral TikTok meme, is now currently at 400 million, even touched 500 million. Another massive AI meme meta, Zerebro, is at 500 million almost after just a couple weeks. But as we can see, there are initial pumps where people were able to make millions and millions of dollars by identifying these trends early and getting into these coins before it goes viral. As we can see here, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Fibonacci retracements because this is where I will look for a lot of the entries after these pumps if I'm not able to get in. And now one that just happened recently was Casey. This is less than 24 hours old and already at 60 million. So you have a chance to make life-changing money here if we are able to identify these very early. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I do that and how to make generational wealth. Now, to give you an idea, let's go inside my Photon to show you how I have been able to dive into some of these early plays. This one is hashtag meme coin. As we can see here, my early entry at just under a million was able to 3x that in less than a couple seconds. Now, of course, there is always a pullback. As I was talking about earlier, the Fibonacci retracement looks like we got almost to 62% wicked there before it came a lot higher. So I did miss out on some profit, but I have a different strategy. We are just trying to identify these early, take my profit, and move on. Another meme coin that Elon Musk tweeted was Wabi Sabi. It was in another language, but they made a meme coin out of it. Now I decided to get in during the pump. I never suggest to top blast, but again, I just scalped some of my profit and was able to move on. Now this one died right away, but if we are able to hold these Fibonacci retracements, then you can also see some insane life-changing gains. For instance, this one came out, it was the first criminal robot. So I decided to jump into the token very early. We had an initial pump, a very short pullback, and so I got my initial in. As soon as it pumped up to 500K, I almost 3x my money and took out. Now it looked like it was dying, but it did end up holding these Fibonacci levels overnight, and I ended up fumbling a massive bag. As we can see, it has now taken off to over 7 million. So I am not upset. I still made my profit, but we were very early, and this is why you always want to hold some of your dust, because it hit another news article and was able to go crazy. Another meme coin of mine, I was able to get in on the first initial pump. We see the retracement levels here, but I took profit as we are going up. So I have a free trade. I don't get emotional when it does retrace 90%. Now this one just completely died, and I was able to take profit on the way out. And we aren't sure whether it's going to hold those retracement levels or not. So you always want to be taking profit and clipping very aggressively. For instance, this token memes over war, I was in after the initial pump. I waited for it to hold some retracement levels. I decided to get in. It double bottomed, and we shot up from 80,000 all the way up to almost 700,000. This was a huge win for me. I clipped all the way up and took my profit there. Another massive win for me was my entry at just over 500,000 to a token that went to almost 40 million here. We can see it was the initial pump that I decided to get in after the retrace, and it just went parabolic from there. Some of these clips are just taking profit. And last one I want to show you here is the Georgie token. Now I traded this also very well. I have almost 500% traded with an entry of 200K all the way up to 2 million, but I didn't leave enough moonbag because we did see it go all the way to millions, 30 million. So again, I kept my profit. I moved on to the next, but I definitely need to think about leaving some conviction moon dust plays around. So let's talk about how I'm starting to identify these extremely early before these massive pumps, taking my profit and then having no emotion when the chart goes up or down 80% in, let's say, hours. First, we're going to start on Dex Screener, and then we're going to go into some of my other tools I use to find these early. Once you're in Deck Screener, click the top here. It's going to refresh and get you to the Solana page. And then I'm going to click on filters up here. Now, a lot of people have different ideas of what filters. I'm just going to share with you which ones I use. Of course, liquidity minimum of 1,000. Now, the market cap I like to look at on Deck Screener. We're going to go into the lower market caps later in the video, but Deck Screener is for the market caps. I'm looking at about $1 million to invest, and these ones are 20x, go to 20 million. So after they pick up some steam, this is where we're trying to find these sweet spots. So in 1 hour transactions, I want over 200, and 1 hour trading volume, I want over $45,000 there. I'm going to hit apply, and then I'm going to filter by 5 minutes. Now inside the 5 minutes, these are what's popping off right now, but these are going to be extremely volatile. I'll make sure I'm looking at the market caps and how each of these charts are looking. It's hard to tell what to invest in without looking at the chart. Now, after Chill Guy, there have been a ton of beta plays, and you can see that through here. Now, I am not a huge fan of following these. I try to find the initial narratives and get in and take my profits. You can make money off of these, but definitely do your research. Now, when something pops off, I'm going to definitely check the chart out, see what we're looking at. I'll filter down by the seconds because, of course, early on, it's hard to give a lot of filters or indicators on a chart like this. So currently we're seeing a increase in the price discovery. So I will pull out some of my Fibonacci retracements. I usually take this to the top, and now as fast as it goes up, it's as fast as it can come down. If it is holding above the 50%, this may be a very hot coin. But my entries, typically a golden entry, you can watch other videos on the Fibonacci retracement, but are around the 61 to 65%. Now, if it pulls back to that point and holds that floor, this is where I'm looking to get in at that market cap. Now we see it continued to just plow through that all-time high, so the Fibonacci will not work until it starts its pullback. Now we can see this Casey coin is on a Deck Screener. It had an insane pump in the first 24 hours. We can use this Fibonacci retracement, but it is holding. It isn't dipping much. It maybe wicked close to the 50%, but we are holding, which means there is a lot of buy pressure. So I will continue to watch this. If you are convicted in such a thing, definitely check out the Twitter, the Telegram, dive into some of the lore. There looks like there is quite a lot of followers already, and it is getting a ton of attraction. You can start to DCA if this is something you're interested in, or wait for the pullback. Now again, traditionally we can see everything up to 80% pullback and holding this floor for possibly days before it is picked up again and taken to all-time highs. It's impossible to predict the future, so instead we take proper risks and secure our profit. Next, I want to talk about some of the wallet tracking I do with my Discord. Now, there are a ton of paid wallet tracking. There's free wallet tracking. One I'm going to recommend is GMGN. It is free and you can add a ton of wallets. On the side here, you can see that I have named and found possibly over 30 of some of the top influencers that are trading in the trenches right now. And I've set up a feed. On the right hand side, I have everything from the top inflow of tokens from these specific influencers in the last 24 hours, 6 hours, hour, and 15 minutes. Now, if I'm looking for tokens that they are just getting in and out, this is where I will go on the 15-minute chart here. Now, I don't have any filters, but we can even dive down into just new holders. So I'm going to take all of these off, and if I click new holder here, this is where we are going to see these whales diving into new tokens. Here, I'll grab the token address and pop it into my Photon to decide if I'm interested or not in this token. You can see a lot of these guys just scalp new pairs and they make a ton of money off doing it. I don't suggest this, but again, this is where they are always finding the new narratives early. So most of these tokens that they purchase just go to zero, but they also pick up the narratives that go to 100 mil. I can also filter over different price points, so if they are really buying into a new token, and we can see that on here. And lastly, a huge tool I use is Twitter Tracker. So in my Twitter profile, you can see over 600 people I am following. These guys are trench warriors. I have them all in a Twitter alert system inside my Discord, and I will show you guys that here. But every time one of these guys tweets, it comes into a feed into my Discord, and this is where we're always looking for new metas. If a zoo talks about a new gorilla, maybe an animal dies, or something Elon Musk does goes viral, this is going to be a token and a new narrative, and this is where I find it from all of these people who are looking at this every day. I can also take the token address and paste it into Twitter and post it there. You're going to be able to see everyone talking about it and who the main influencers are trying to push it. Now remember, trading is all about psychology. Try not to top blast, wait for your entry, and be convicted in the plays you're researching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, take care.